here. Fairfax says, good old asteroids. That's what it is. It was either that or not Roblox, but there was another one, Android or something like that. Or like this was back in the day when you had arcades. I don't know if you kids remember that, but you'd go to a place and you'd have a fistful of quarters and you would put that in the machine and actually play this game. Those were the good times. But yeah, that's that type of game. Like, oh, this is cool. It's on my phone. It's right there. I don't have to pay quarters. Missile Command. Yeah, Missile Command was a good one. But Missile Command was also on Atari. Remember that? The Atari, I think it was 2600, where you had like a big brick and there was one joystick out here and one button. And that was the extent of gameplay back then. Sir, is Tom cheap to buy now? Tom Crown? Tom Crown's not cheap. Or the token itself. Oh, Ton. Is Ton cheap to buy now? I think to where it could potentially be, sure. But again, I don't know. I can't tell you like, how much to put into it and if it's a good investment. I can just tell you what I've done. I've been dollar cost averaging Ton since 6 months ago or something like that. So it just kind of hit me. I'm like, I look at Ton and I take a step back and I look at Facebook. I don't know if you guys remember this when Zuckerberg came out and said, you know what, we're going to make our own crypto. It's going to be called Libra. And it's going to be awesome. And we're going to be able to transfer value and people are going to be able to pay things online. They're going to use the app. It's going to be great. Government stepped in and said, not so fast. Grab some bench because you're not going anywhere, kid. And that's essentially why they just shut it down. And of course, out of that, you got Sui and you got Aptos because those developers came from Libra. But when I took a look at that, I go, if you look at businesses as just an area of distribution, right? If you have, okay, here's an example. You have a sports facility, and that sports facility has, let's say 500 to 700 people a night playing sand volleyball. And you've got no food there whatsoever. But then a food truck comes in and is like, hey, I'm here. I'm the only game in town. And you want some tacos or not? Sure. How much are the tacos? $5 a piece. $5 a piece. Damn. All right, I'll pay for that. Because you have access to that, you have access to eyeballs and people, and there's a demand, you just put that in. So with Facebook and Libra, they could have crushed it. They could have actually wiped out banks just by the ability to transfer value. People could transact amongst themselves. Payments could probably be cheap. They would have done great. They got stopped. Telegram got stopped too in the beginning. Remember that? They did a proof of stake token. I forgot the name of it. It was not Ton. It was something else. SEC stepped in. You can't do that. You're going to have to give all that back and you're going to have to pay a fine. Fine. We'll pay a fine. Then they came out and said, we're going to do a proof of work token first, and then we're going to transfer over to proof of stake. Very smart. Same thing that Ethereum did, right? Ethereum was a proof of work. Now it's a proof of stake. Guess what? It just got approved for an ETF. Bing, bang, boom, done. So with Ton, I take a look at that and go, there's 950 million people, and they're all using this Ton token with custodial and self-custodial wallets within the app, and they can transfer it all the way around. Oh, also they integrated USDC and Tether. So if you have the app and you have a wallet, doesn't matter if you're United States or not, you can have a non-custodial wallet. There you go. So I take a look at that, I go, it's just inevitable. I think. So is Ton cheap? For me, yes. For you, I don't know. That's how I see it. Tank Commander. Yeah, that was a good one. Matt says, do you think Pepe will get a Coinbase listing? I don't know why not. I mean, there's a ton of liquidity. There's a lot of people who want to buy it. Although maybe that will cut into their Brett base token that everybody's so fired up about. I don't know. They should, though. Uzi says, Rob, what was your first ever crypto and how much worth what you bought? My first was Bitcoin because it was the biggest. This was in 2017. And I think I bought like $100. And I was like, well, that $100 is gone. But it kept appreciating. And then towards the end of 2017, I thought I was a genius. I remember I got in 2017 November when Bitcoin was $8,500. And don't think I'm bragging, because I'm not. Because everybody, all my other people I had talked to, or people I met on the internet, were like, yeah, I got it at a penny. I'm like, damn it, I really missed out. Then some people say, I got it at $1,000. I'm like, damn it, I really missed out. Crappy 8,500. And then when I went to 19,000, I was like, I'm the greatest investor of all time. And then I realized just how dumb I am. And then, of course, it just kept going down. People were saying diamond hands, you know, same stuff. Yeah. And then everybody was saying it's going to 1 million, and it was inevitable. And then I didn't realize that I was just exit liquidity. That's it. Off the grid is making noise. Yeah, off the grid is doing great, and it's an amazing thing. You make a game that people want to play, and you don't do microtransactions to death, and you make it fun, and you don't shove NFTs and crypto coins down their throat, and they actually play it. It's amazing how that works out. And now I am delighted and waiting eagerly for the Web 2 traditional gamer to finally figure it out that, oh, I can own this stuff, and it's not against the TOS in terms of service, and I can trade it, and I can actually make money off this if I bought something and I wanted to stop playing the game. That's crazy. No one ever has allowed me to do that. All right. Rob's fan. Thanks. Rob's fan. That's pretty good. Rob, talk about SWE memes in the DGen channel. I should. I just don't know what they are. I should get Wes from Smart Money Crypto to come in. He knows all that stuff. Still waiting for a good supply tracking project, aren't we all? What's your other channel called? Guy, there's a link in the description at the very bottom. It's just called Dan DGen. It used to be called Dan Clips, but I realized I wasn't uploading any clips. So I was like, well, I'll just talk about the more risky stuff. And if you go over there, you'll know that most of those, I'd say 99% of the things I talk about there are going to zero. Probably at some point, yeah. But you might get lucky, and they might appreciate. Who knows? Thomas says, hey, Rob, ETH is too expensive. 2025 might be the last hurrah. Yeah, it could be. But, you know, there's so much money sloshing around in Ethereum and these layer 2s that I don't know if layer 2s are really, and of course, people in the comments will say, you don't know what you're talking about because this layer 2 is awesome and it does everything. I got you. I just don't know if retail wants to deal with that. We'll find out. I own a bunch of L2s in Ethereum, so I'm impartial. V-Man says, I bought my first Bitcoin in 2018 for $10,800 and I did the DC every time. You know, some people say, well, Rob, why don't you just lump sum in? I was like, well, I can, but I've only got so much money to put in. You know, like I don't just have like this magical, you know, Scrooge McDuck vault of tokens or gold that I swim in. As money comes in, I buy other things. So, I mean, I'll go heavier doing this thing called dynamic DCAing. If you don't know what that is, there's a link in the description, like everything else. And as the risk values go down, because the price goes down, then you start buying more. And when the price goes up, you buy a little less. It's relatively simple. I mean, if I can do it, sweet Jesus, anybody can do it. Have you ever heard of Superverse? Yes, looks like it's a good project. People seem to love it. That's all I know about it. Dan, don't get robbed. Yeah, there was a disturbing story. I think it was Nick from Coin Bureau put it out there, and it was all the people, not that have just been scammed out of their crypto, but physically in person at gunpoint or knife point, subject to muggings of their crypto, which I'm like, that's a very advanced mugger. I got to tell you, if you got someone who's like, hey, give me your seed phrase, you're like, what? That's amazing. It's amazing you even know what the hell that is. So, but it's happening more and more. So everybody be safe out there as best you can. Fans aren't moving, so definitely a green screen. Exactly. It's always a green screen. Matt says, what do you think about the Bitcoin documentary where they revealed who Satoshi Nakamoto is? I didn't think that guy, Todd Peters, I think it's his name. I mean, I just don't think he's the guy. And let's just say this. Let's just go back. Let's say he is the guy, right? Let's say this guy, Todd, is Satoshi Nakamoto. I think he knows if he was smart enough to create Bitcoin, and he's not dead already, he's smart enough to know that he can't move those tokens because the price collapse would be massive. Because then people would say, oh, Satoshi's back. And we have these million tokens, which I will remind everybody, that's just hearsay. It's just a guesstimation of all the different wallets. There is not one wallet that's labeled as Satoshi. There's a group, a mass group of wallets where people think that is because they were created back in 2009. So they thought, oh, this must be Satoshi's wallets. Nobody knows. But if you move those tokens and you sell them, that means that 1 million could be sold at any time. So I think a lot of people look at that and go, it might be collapsible. And then also, another thing is, if you have one person that created it and he actually came back, then it's not really decentralized in some way, in shape, and fashion. You're subject to different problems with the government. But if you just stay away and shut your mouth, everything should be good. Dan, any thoughts about CoinDesk reporting about Kamala's support for crypto regs framework? I saw something where she said that she's going to support crypto, and I was like, great, let's see what happens. I will remind everybody, Donald J. Trump also promised to make Bitcoin a reserve asset. And I will remind everybody, if you're old like me and you understand this, campaign promises are like kisses in the wind. You hear about them, you see them, but you never really feel it. So just because somebody makes an actual promise doesn't mean they're actually going to go through with it. So Trump and Harris, they're all liars. Yeah, I'd say exactly. Golfer. Can you believe that? Making promises. You're just like we have the rules. Everything's a scam until proven. Everything's a scam until proven otherwise. Everything is a lie from a politician until it becomes reality. Let's just say that. Oh, interesting comments. Let's see. Kamala thinks crypto is Megan Thee Stallion's rapper friend. Ah, funny. Does Sui have a wallet like Sol with Phantom? I believe so. I don't use that hot wallet. How I store, actually right now, there's Sui between TANGEM and COINBASE. So TANGEM just rolled that out, as a matter of fact. Would you say near Sui or Render has the most upside in 2025? This morning I was talking to Hanjin, and he is one of the co-founders of Blue Whale, which is a AI project. And his background is in artificial intelligence. And he said, in all honesty, you need 3 things for AI. You need compute, which makes a lot of sense, right? The AI people always talk about we need massive GPUs for computational power to spit it out. You need data, first of all, to take that data and to spit something out. And you need storage. You need to store that data somewhere. And what he said, he goes, and he talked about all different projects. He goes, there's a disconnect. He goes, there's no way that I can have my engineers just put something here and something there and something there. It all has to be under one roof. He said, to make things really sustainable. He goes, that's why he goes, Amazon has us by the balls. And he said, because they have storage, they have compute, they have data. They have everything. So he goes, storing it there. He goes, so to do this, to say Render has the GPUs, Aether has the GPUs, other Filecoin has storage, all these things, and they kind of make it all together. ASI, Ocean, Singularity, and Fetch AI. They have 3 different renders, but he says if you can have everything underneath one hub, you'll do a lot better. So I don't know about Render. I think it's a great narrative, and I think narratives move the market, not so much like massive utility. So yeah, Sui looks to be the next heir apparent to Solana. I don't know if it's going to pass Solana, but let's just say Sui gets in the top 10. Is that outside the realm of possibility? You know what that means? That's at least a 5x there. And then Near has been one of my fave projects, and they are also an AI project. So Gosh, I hold all three of those. So I don't know which one's got the upside, but that's why I hold them all. See you, golfer. That's fine. I'm hoping it's near. Paul said, hey, Rob, have you migrated your World Mo token? Yeah, Paul, we did a video on this a couple of days. I want to say about a week ago. And I said, you have to wait until, I want to say it was the 11th because of the staking round. And then he just used that site and just transferred over. JQ, what in all the time that we've been together makes you think that, I know what you're talking about, MACD. This is for TA stuff. But you know I don't do that stuff. I would love to delve into it, but I have no idea. If you would like to know about the MACD crossing up soon, watch Tom Crown and the rest of those guys. They know way more than me. I have no idea. Are you still doing sweat? Yeah, because it's free. It's on my phone, my busted up phone, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I get sweat tokens. I walk a little bit, get some sweat tokens, not so bad. And of course, I was an early investor, so I have tokens that, unfortunately for me, are underwater still. Oh, B-Man says right. I read the Bible. I read the Bible every day. And this lying game has been going on for thousands of years. You're absolutely right. Verify, don't trust. Who would have thunk it? People are liars. It's all BS and it's bad for you. The late, great George Carlin. Let's see. Brent says, if nothing else went up, SWE would be in the top 10 with the 2.5x. Now I can see that. By the way, a nice push-up this morning, although a bit too fast. I have this side project called Monday Max Outs. Follow me on X and you'll know what that is. Verify, don't trust. It's biblical. Makes sense. Oh, man. Hey, Rob, World Liberty Finance has its own meme. 1.4 million market cap. That's a low capper. Looks good. I think, yeah, Matt, you're welcome. And that's it for today, I think. I don't think we got anybody else. I answered all the questions. This is fantastic. All right, everybody. That's it for Monday. Enjoy the day, right? You know, you look at your portfolio, you should be up even dollar cost averaging. Just remember that nobody ever went broke taking profits. And that's all I'll say for that piece. All right, buddy. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you guys on the next one, which will be tomorrow on your way out. If you can hit the like and subscribe if you want to. Not like YouTube's going to notify you anyhow, but give it a shot. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you. And I'll see you on the next one. Adios.